Good morning to all of you. Welcome to this webinar series at Faculty of Management Studies, Parul University. Myself, Dr. Vijay Javeri, Dean Faculty of Management. We would like to welcome today's expert, Mr. Mahendra Vakharia, Managing Director of Pathfinder Holidays Private Limited, Ahmedabad. Along with me, Mr. Chintan Prajapati, who is coordinator, who is also coordinator for this webinar, and Dr. Sapna Chauhan, who is a moderator for this program. I would like to introduce all the students that we are coming out at FMS, a new specialization that is a tourism and event management. And this is a new area. And after this pandemic, I think each and every industry is facing challenge, and tourism is also facing challenge. But whatever our passion should not be due to any problems. That passion should be live in any situation, and that is the reason that what we are planning, that how we can provide some guidelines to the students regarding this new specialization. We have arranged this webinar on the area of the tourism and hospitality industry scope and opportunities. I would like to just give brief introduction about today's expert, Mahendra Vakharia. He is a graduate in BA Corporate from Anna University, Tamil Nadu. Also obtained a diploma in hospitality management from the prestigious Institute of Hotel Management, Catering Technology, Mumbai. He is a self-made entrepreneur and co-founded his company Pathfinder Holidays 22 years ago with his wife, Maintri. He was vast experience of more than 30 years in the hotel and travel industry, having worked in a leading 5 hotel in Mumbai and India in the 80s and 90s. He possessed immense first-hand knowledge gathered from miles and miles of road travel in different countries. He has traveled to 15 countries till date and counting. He used this good and practical knowledge to create and curate very interesting and luxury holiday experience for his clients. Really, it's a very interesting journey, sir. He is a part of executive committee of Outbound Tour Travels Operators Association of India and president of that. He has successfully scaled and summited Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain of Africa, at a height of 19,341 feet on 28 February 2017. This is a greatest high of his life. I think really those who are having a passion, I think, as I said initially, that whatever your passion, that you should alive and you can enjoy your work in any of the situation. So I would like to welcome Mr. Mahendra Vakharia. Just you guide our students regarding that how they can make their career in the area of tourism and event management. Whatever their queries, whatever your queries, what you can do, you can share at the end of this entire session. Chintan sir is there, Sapna madam is there. You can share your questions with madam and sir sir will give a best solution for your journey. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahendra. I would like to hand over this platform to you.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you very much, Chairwoman Dr. Vijay Javeri. Also, thank you, Dr. Sapna Chauhan, for coordinating this, and Professor Chintan Prajapati. I've just interacted with you in the morning. A big thank you to all of you and the students of Faculty of Management Studies, Parul University, for this warm introduction, and a big hearty welcome to each and every student of the university who's tuned into this program, as well as watching live on Facebook. It's always a very great happiness and joy for me, especially when I have to talk to students, because, of course, the times are such we have to do virtually many things and not physically, which is the best way, because human interaction is what changes everything in life. But we have to make do with the present situation and respect it. And so we are virtual. But it always is a great thing to speak to students and share details about what we've learned, how we've learned in this last 30, 35 years of our life, how we become an entrepreneur, etc., etc. And it's always very exciting for me personally, because, the energy of the students and the enthusiasm and the intelligence, it's always a learning opportunity for me. when I talk to you students, that I get to learn two new things and I take away two new things from my interaction. Even I have been a student like you in the past, but when I was a student, times were different. And for you people at this moment, time is definitely different. And for all of us in the world, in the last 1 year, times have really turned 360 degree. We don't know what has hit us on our head, and many people are still trying to recover or understand the impact of what it is that has impacted our lives in the last 1 year. But let's not talk about any negativity today. Let's be positive and let's talk about positivity and how we can come out of any situation. Because I believe always, and remember this, students, as you get in life and you either start working for somebody or you become your own entrepreneur, you will have innumerous crises that will come on a daily basis. You will have to constantly keep doing the job of a firefighter. Okay, but always remember, every crisis brings with it an equal and double amount of an opportunity. So never be afraid of a crisis or a challenge in your life. Face it head on and move on. So let's be positive and we talk of good things in life and how we can make meaningful life for ourselves and our family. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. As I said, of course, the topic today is on travel and hospitality industry and what are the scope and opportunities that is existing in this industry, which I will definitely want to touch upon. But before that, I will like to briefly talk to you about my journey of life and how I have reached where I am today. And I hope it will be of interest to you. And because like you, as I said, even when I was a student, I had a lot of dreams in my mind, and I wanted to do certain things in my life. I come from a business family involved in the business of textiles in the south of India, and of course, it's been a generational business, and traditionally, it would have been that after graduation or whatever, I would have got into the textile business of my family and continued with it. But that is not what I wanted to do in my life. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to understand different cultures. I wanted to have a well-groomed experience of different areas of the world. Now, joining a business of that sort would not have given me that opportunity in my life. So I decided that, okay, let me try and do something of my own. So that was my first decision of life when I said, okay, I will want to break out from my comfort zone, which is my family, my well-set business of the family, and everything laid out for me on the table. But I said, I will break out from that. So I decided one day, after graduation, I told my parents, and my parents were extremely very supportive. I told them I want to do something of my own. I will not like to join the business at this stage. In case if nothing works out, I will always, the family is there to fall back on. And they agreed completely and said, whatever it is, if whatever you want to pursue in your life, you try and give it a shot. So with a limited amount of money, I got into a train, came into Mumbai, and I joined the hotel management course because the hotel industry is something which I really was very attracted to at that stage. So, and the Mumbai Institute of Hotel Management is the most premium institute in the country. I was lucky I got a admission there and I did my course there. And I was also lucky to get to work in a 5-star hotel in Mumbai immediately after my diploma. And I worked in the hotel industry for a year and a half, almost about a year and a half. I got to train in different departments, which was very interesting. And that hotel was very popular with the Bollywood film industry. So it was very interesting to, every day you were bumping into film stars of those eras of 80s, late 80s, who were coming in and going out of the hotel, different film shoots were happening, etc., etc. But that still was not exciting me because my passion ultimately was to travel the world and travel. Travel was my passion. So I decided I will look at an option to join a particular travel company. And at that time in India, Raj Travels was a brand which was one of the largest tour operator of the country at that time. And fortunately for me, my brother-in-law knew the chairman of the company very well. So he gave me an opportunity. He took me to meet him. I met up with the chairman and he told me that come and join the company from tomorrow. So I left a decent paying job of the hotel industry and started my career in the hotel travel agency with half the salary that I was getting. But that time, I did not ever think about the pay packet or anything of that sort. The only thought that came to my mind was that, yes, I have got an opportunity to pursue my passion and dream, and I have got an opportunity to work in the largest tour operator company. I'm going to take it. I didn't know nothing about travel. I didn't know how to frame an itinerary. I didn't know how to make a booking. I didn't know how to issue a ticket, nothing. But I said, it's okay. The company was backing up. I will learn it. So I want to stress upon this point that you have a passion, you have to follow that passion. Also remember, when you get an opportunity, put your more than 100% into it to make sure that somebody who has trusted you to deliver something or to create something, you are living up to that trust. Okay, so you have to work 24 hours a day, you have to learn, you have to do extra courses, do whatever, but make sure that you learn the tricks of the trade which you are wanting to get involved into. So I started my career from there, and within 2 months of my joining the company, I got an opportunity to travel to the Far East countries as a tour director. Now, that was my first international flight. I did not know what is tour leading. How do you become a tour manager? What are the challenges that one can face in a foreign country? Different languages, different protocols, formalities of documentation, etc., etc., etc. But as I said, I've been lucky enough to learn on the job, and as I learned on the job, I got refined, and I kept upping up my skills of the business of learning the tricks, and that helped me a lot. Keep an open mind, my friends. When you start out your journey of life, always remember, keep an open mind, because with a closed mind you will never be able to go any further, right? So I started my career like that, and slowly, as time went by, I got involved in different departments of the company. I got to learn a lot of other activities and various departments, like ticketing, tour operation, which is very important. The operation part of the business in the travel agency is extremely very important. Reservations, customer relation, and the most exciting thing that I got to do while in the company was becoming a tour director. Now, as a tour director, as you know, they were one of the largest group tour companies in India at that time. We used to have 5,000, 6,000 passengers traveling in a year to Europe every year in the summer months. So I got an opportunity to become a tour leader into the company and started going to Europe. So we used to go by April end and come back by about mid-August or something. We used to stay in London 15 days, go on a tour, come back to London, 1 day break, do the accounting work, and then again start the tour. But what I learned becoming a tour director, believe you me, none of the institutes or none of the schools or anything could have taught me what I learned as a tour manager. Try and understand the situation. You are a tour manager in a foreign country. I'm talking of days before mobile phones, so no mobile phones. Accessibility to your head office for any challenge is limited. You are on the ground in a foreign country with a language barrier, and you have a group of 45 people on your head, and you have to solve a problem. Okay, there was nobody you could reach out to by calling up on the mobile phone, which is a luxury we have these days. But we had to think on our own feet, think out of the box, and bring a solution to make sure that the passengers who had paid money and come on a holiday had a wonderful experience. Now you have to also visualize that in a coach load of 45 people, every human being has got an ego, irrespective of whatever the strata of the society he or she is from. You have to tackle each and every passenger's ego and balance it at the same time to make sure that everybody was happy. It is like a tenor in an opera or an orchestra doing the job of making sure that the hundreds of musicians who are playing in the back on the stage are all in synchronization to make sure that the music that is coming out was very enjoyable to the ears. So that opportunity that I got of being a tour director and traveling the world was what has shaped my entire journey of life, and that has given me a great insight into management, a great insight into making friends, and solving situations, and most importantly, not to be worried or afraid of any challenge that comes in front of you. Can you imagine, we used to travel from London, we used to come into Netherlands, so Amsterdam. From there we used to get into Germany, from Germany to Austria to Italy to Switzerland to France, and back to London. And in this 15 days, we had to travel almost 600 kilometers every day. So you are managing your coach driver, you have to manage your caravan driver, you have to manage 45 passengers, you have to very effortlessly and smoothly clear all the customs control at each and every country's border, because those days every country had a separate visa. And all this we had to do while making sure that the tour program is not getting disturbed and the passengers are getting their full value of the money. So this skills that you developed on the job is what was very important. And as I said, to my mind, no college or school or any institute could have taught me this skills, and that is what is helping us a lot in our present situation and business as well. But as I said, the most important thing is I had to have an open mind. If I had kept a closed mind and said, no, I don't know nothing about Europe, why should I go as a tour director? I don't know the discomfort. I want the comfort of working in the office. I would not have grown as the way I have personally grown, is what my belief in, and I stick to that belief, So this is how I developed over a period of time, and got to travel to different countries. And I'm very happy to share that my passion of traveling the world with this industry has given me a chance to visit almost about 51 countries till date, and I'm still counting. I'm still eager to travel to so many countries and so many beautiful places in this world. To my mind, no other business or no other industry would have given me this opportunity of traveling to so many countries. Travel was my passion, and I joined this industry, and that gave me a great opportunity. So you will have an opportunity in your life as you exit from the university and start looking at the second chapter of your life, or becoming an employee or working with somebody or becoming an entrepreneur. There are so many challenges you will come across. There are so many difficulties you will come across, and every step you will have a self-doubt, But as I said, somewhere or the other, you will have to have that courage and the conviction. And more importantly, you will have to have that strength in your ability and confidence in your own ability to make sure that what you're doing and what you're going to do is going to be proper. You have to acquire certain skills. Of course, yes, all of us have to have certain skills, because without that, nothing is going to be of any use to us. But it's manageable. It's not. Our days were much more difficult than what you all have at present. I have a son who's 28-year-old, and he's joined my company in the business, and he's taking the company forward. But you all have the luxury of the technology. We did not have that technology with us when we were starting our journeys of life. We had to be self-dependent. We had to be self-reliant. We did not have Google Uncle then to help us with a lot of our queries, which you all have this massive big advantage on you. And make sure that you have this proper use of this tool that you have, and use it to its fullest for your career. Now, how we started as a career, I'll tell you. So it's 11 years in the company working. That gave me a very good perspective of what the whole industry is about, what needs to be done, etc., etc. And coming from a Banya family, ultimately the entrepreneurial bug did bite me as well. And it came a day, in the bargain, in this 11 years, I also met my wife in the same organization, and we got married, and she was also part of the organization then. And we decided one fine day to start our own company. And so we left the company we were working, both of us, and started our company. When we started our company, honestly, I'm telling you, we did not know where our first revenue is going to come from, or who our first client is going to be. Okay? We did not know that. But we decided we are going to become an entrepreneur. We are going to start, because we were very confident of the skills that we had cultivated, of the contacts that we had made, and of our work ethics. So for a year, we operated out of our residence. We converted a big dining table at home into our office setup. We had one computer desktop with a dial-up modem. I'm sure many of you won't even know what a dial-up modem is at this stage. But those are the days when you had a dial-up modem. We did not have the DSL internet Ethernet cable. So dial-up modem, when you want to send an email or something at intervals of 2 or 3 hours, you connect onto the internet. Whatever messages and emails you want to send, you send and receive and etc. and communicate to the world. The luxury that we had was we had a fax machine, and that was definitely the status symbol in those days to have it with you. And that was the tools of communication. But eventually, we gradually grew from there and to our present state. So we had a couple of staff members with us, and I'm very happy to share that two of them are still at today working with us after about 22 years. They're still with us in the organization. But that's how we started. So for almost a year, we worked out of our home on the dining table, and those were the golden days of our entrepreneurial journey. Eventually, we shifted from there into the present office that we are in Ahmedabad, and grew from there. But all along, one thing that what we were very, very clear about, me and my wife, when we started is, come what may, there are certain, everybody in your life, you will have to have certain set of principles and ethics of how you want to do certain things in life and how you want to live your life, And we also had certain ethics, and we said, come what may, we are not going to take any passenger for a ride in the sense that giving wrong information, giving false information. For example, telling a 4-star hotel as a 5-star hotel and selling it to a client. No. If I don't know, I'll tell the client, sorry, sir, I don't know. Give me some time. I'll find out and come back to you. But in the fear of losing a customer, we were very clear. We are not going to give any wrong information or advice. So that's how we started, and slowly and gradually we started growing from there to where we are at present state. Today, currently, after 22 years, and in the business, we have a nice team of 13 people. We are in the office. We are like one big family, as I said. And, we have clients not only in Gujarat, we also have clients in Baroda, Surat, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, but also in UK, USA, and Canada. And the beauty of the business or the services, 70% of our foreign clients we have not met personally. It's pure word by mouth. Reference is what our customer base is, and that's how we are building up on it. But that has come because we were very clear. We only focus on giving quality service and excellence. And believe you me, this is one important thing that you all have to remember in life. Whatever you do, could be a job, could be an entrepreneur, could be manufacturing, could be product, could be service. But remember, pursue excellence in your life. Chase only excellence and forget everything else. Money is a byproduct of excellence. Moment you start concentrating on excellence, money will automatically come. Whether it's your service, make sure that your service is top class, where a person remembers you for the service that you offered. If you are into manufacturing business, when you grow in life, make sure that the product that you manufacture is so classy, people will come asking for it, So whatever you touch upon, only pursue and work towards making it sure that you are creating excellence, Everything else is secondary in life. Remember this, please. And that's what we followed. And because of that, today, we have clients, as I said, where we have not even met them, but they're booking with us with the trust that we will deliver what we promise and at a fair price to them. So this is how we started, and we are continuing. And this is a small story of our journey that I wanted to share with you. We had a lot of challenges, as I said, and our industry, as you should know, in the travel industry, every mistake is correlated with a loss of money. Okay. For example, if a client has told you to book a ticket for the 14th of April, and on the phone, if you've not heard properly and you made a booking for 13th of April, and once you issue the ticket, you cannot change it to 14th April. You have to cancel the ticket, which means straight away cancellation of 1,500 rupees. Now, you can imagine simple mistakes like this can lead to such big losses for a company or an organization, So we have to be very careful, and that's what I'm saying, that whatever you do, make sure that you follow excellence, and that will allow you to prosper well in life and make as less mistakes as possible. So this is how we started our journey, and this is there were days when we didn't even know, oh, since morning it would be half day gone, and we would say, oh, there is not even a single phone call come for any booking of a holiday or a ticket, and we used to be worried. And even you will get these situations in your life where you'll be worried because things might not happen the way you want to happen. But as I said, do not lose hope, do not lose patience, and have faith in your own ability. Things will start happening. Always remember, when one door is shut, another door is opening somewhere with an opportunity, and keep looking for these kind of opportunities. Okay. But stick to your ethics, stick to your principle in your work, in your business, and believe you me, you will be on the winning side of life and not on the losing side of life. And build up on your knowledge base continuously. That is one thing you have to do on a regular basis. Build up on your knowledge, whether it's academic knowledge, it's of your interest or whatever, but keep building up on your knowledge, because that is what is going to help you in your life. So with this kind of a background is what my entrepreneurial journey is, and how we started, how challenges we faced, how we overcome that, how we progress with it, and how we are at what we are in our life today. And today, I'll tell you, as I said, after traveling to 51 countries, and I'm getting an opportunity to pursue my passion of hiking. So I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which I could do because I have a wonderful team that allowed me the opportunity of being away from the office. My wife and son are there. The team is there to take care of it. So all in all, if you are balanced in your life, you will get a lot of opportunities to pursue your passion, your hobbies, your interests. At the same time, create and excel in whether your career or business that you are doing. Chintan sir, next slide, please. So let's now come to the main topic of today, which is travel and tourism industry and the hospitality industry. The hospitality industry is a very big scope of an industry. It covers your travel, tourism, aviation, a lot of things that can combine into it. So we will touch upon briefly, but there are certain statistics that I know statistics will be boring. Even I hate statistics, but unfortunately, when you're talking about the scope of an industry, we have no choice but to indicate the statistics that is there, So I would like to quickly run through those. Did you know what is the total number of tourist arrivals in India for 2020? For example, up to March 2020, from March, as you know, everything has come to a standstill. The total tourists that arrived into the country was 1.8 crore tourists. That is the number of tourists that have come into our country. Now, that is when you compare to certain other countries, Thailand, for example, receives 6 crore tourists. Spain and France and Spain and France are the two countries that receive the maximum number of tourists in the world. But next door neighbor, Thailand, gets 6 crore tourists. We are getting 1.8 crore tourists. But that's the size of the industry that we are talking of. So 1.8 tourists coming into the country, you can imagine the amount of money they are spending, the amount of opportunity that is getting created into different areas of tourism. What is the share of India in international tourist arrivals? Now, I said 1.8 crore is what the number of tourists that we receive. Our rank, when you compare it to in terms of percentage, is only 1.23% of the world total travelers. So you can imagine what stage it is. We are still, I would say, at a baby stage where we are receiving only 1.23% of the total travelers of the world. India has got such a great potential. India has got such amazing opportunities to get into this, to make sure that we get more than 10 to 15% of the tourist arrivals of the world, travelers of the world. We rank 23rd in the world in terms of the number of visitors coming to a country, and 8th in the Asia Pacific region. Even in the Asia Pacific region, you can imagine we are 8th. So there are many countries, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, which are much more in terms of numbers than what India is. This is very important. What is the revenue that the Indian Indian government has got from foreign exchange earning due to tourism in India, you'll be shocked to hear that the total earning for the government of India from foreign exchange with this tourist arrivals is at a phenomenal 2,25,000 crore rupees equivalent of foreign exchange. That has gone into the foreign exchange reserve of the country, with which India can leverage on a lot of other things in the world economy. So that's that's the size of the tourism revenue that is getting created. Next slide, Chintan sir. That's the amount of revenue that is getting created in this country out of tourism. What is the share of India in international tourist receipts? As I said, that's I've just spoken to you about it. How many Indians, when we say in travel, you have to understand, when we talk of domestic, it means within India, and when we say international, means going out of India. So number of domestic visits within India, the number of people, Indians who have traveled within India, is at a staggering 32 crore visitors who have traveled to. So the population is 1.3 billion. What we say 130 crores or whatever, but the number of times that Indians have traveled, more than one trip, more than two trips in a year, more than three trips in a year, and that has taken that figure to 232 crore visits by Indians in the year up to 2019. All these figures that I'm referring to is about up to 2019, and going forward it will start building up again, because 2020 we all have to discount from our lives. And the contribution of tourism to the growth in India, not only in India but internationally and worldwide, tourism industry is contributing to a staggering, again, 9% to the GDP growth of the world economy. And even in India, tourism is contributing almost 9% to this industry, which is phenomenal, which is in the top 5 industries in the country, driving the GDP growth, along with your manufacturing and along with your automobile industry. Tourism is contributing almost about 9% of growth. And what is the total employment in the tourism industry? That is directly correlated. There will be so many indirect employment that's generated, which there are not even details, but the total employment in the tourism industry is almost at about 4.5 crore rupees. Now that is 4.5 crore, is the number of people that's employed in this industry. So you can imagine, it is such a big, massive industry. Worldwide, the tourism industry is in the top 3 industries in any country in the world, or in the world overall. Next slide, Chintan sir, please. So these are the statistics which I gave you as to what it is in terms of the potential of this industry. Now, you have a choice. After you graduate and you step out of the college, you will be standing at a point, you will have hundreds of paths in front of you, and you will have to take a choice as to which path you want to take in your life. But like Dr. Bijal mentioned in her introduction, and like I told you, I followed my path of passion, and my passion was travel, and I cultivated that passion into my career and my business. And I'm very happy, because it's not only giving me the joy of traveling, it's also giving me the joy of doing the business out of my passion and earn a livelihood and support my family and my team members. So think of what path you want to take. Keep passion at the back of your mind and heart, and follow that path. But since we are talking of travel and tourism, the opportunities that are there, I've already explained to you what is the scope and size of this industry. That is huge. But at the same time, what role can you play in the travel industry? What role can you play in the tourism industry? Tourism industry, travel industry, there are various activities that happen. For example, I've just quickly or very briefly listed out few options here. It could be, in a travel agency, if I'm focused on sending Indian tourists out of India on a holiday to anywhere out of the world, we call it outbound tour. And outbound travelers from India, you will be surprised to know we are currently 29 million. That's the number of tourists that are going out of in India to a foreign country. You can imagine what kind of potential it is there to cater to such a huge market. United Nations World Tourism Organization, which is the governing body so-called for the tourism worldwide, UNWTO, has forecasted that in the next couple of years, the outbound travelers from India are going to grow to a humongous and staggering 45 million travelers. That's about 4.5 crore passengers in a year that are going out of India to foreign countries. Now you can imagine what kind of opportunity you can have to cater to such a big market, and which is growing. As I said, travel is something which is never going to die. Of course, it has got its ups and downs. Currently, we are one of the industry which is highly impacted at this moment, but it is going to bounce back much more stronger than what it was earlier, because human being, it's a nature of a human being to travel, and it's in our DNA. Civilizations of the past have developed only because human being wanted to travel for recreation, for settlement, for better life, for opportunities, whatever. So travel will never stop, come what may. So you're looking at the staggering figures that I'm just correlating to you. So you could be an outbound tour advisor in a travel agency. We have travel advisors in my company, and they are multitaskers. They do both domestic tourism also. So they are able to guide a client if he or she wants to travel within India somewhere, we can guide them. At the same time, they are advising them on outbound travel as well. Now, as I said, everything, this industry, as glamorous as what it is, it's also highly technical and highly technology dependent. Okay, so you have to be mindful of that. Why I'm saying technical is, for example, if you're an outbound tour advisor in a travel agency, and if you get a client coming and saying he wants to go to Georgia or he wants to go to Russia, now you would have to know what are the documentation formalities, what are the visa formalities, how you can apply for the visa, where to apply for the visa. Those are the kind of technicalities which you will require to know. Okay. In the present situation after COVID, there are so many rules and regulations that are constantly changing in different countries. You have to be aware of that. And that is why I told you again in my early talk, you have to be constantly updating your knowledge on a daily basis, because only then you will be able to service your client, you will be able to service your customer very confidently and satisfactorily. Okay. So you have to be mindful of these changing rules and regulations of the world to guide your customer very properly and thoroughly. Okay. So that could be a role of an outbound tour advisor. Similarly, an inbound tour advisor is, as I told you, there are 1.9 million tourists, 1.9 crore foreign visitors who are coming into the country. So how are they coming into the country? They're coming because there are travel agencies. We are specializing in getting foreign tourists into the country. There they know how to go about, form an itinerary, create an itinerary. What are the rules? How you apply for the e-visa for a foreign national? As you know, India is one of the countries which has opened up e-visa for so many countries in the world and made visa applications very simpler for foreign nationals. But how do you? So you have to guide your customers. So all this are technical part of it, but that's related to the role of an inbound tour advisor. You could be a tour director, like I told you. You could join a company as a tour director. There are companies who hire professional tour directors and on the payroll. That will give you not only an opportunity to travel the world, as I told you, but more importantly, it will teach you the best man management skills that you will ever learn anywhere. But if that is your passion, and if you like dealing with people, it's not everybody's cup of tea, believe you me, because it can be very painful. It can be very frustrating. You have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of calm head. You cannot get agitated. You cannot get frustrated. So if all these qualities are okay with you, you could look at a tour director's role as well in this industry, and that way you can travel the world as well. The new thing that has happened currently, and with social media and everybody being on social media in the last 1 year more so, there's a humongous 35% increase of total time spent on social media in the world. So, a role could be a travel vlogger or a blogger. You could become a travel blogger, create your own small videos of travel and build up a social media presence and start promoting tourism in that manner. That is also a new thing that's opened up in our industry. If food is your passion and, which is related to travel, you could be a food blogger, food and travel blogger combined. So that is another opportunity that's coming. Within the tourism industry, there are a lot of different verticals. So one is outbound tourism, one is inbound tourism. We have religious tourism where, you could create religious itineraries to go to Chardham, Kailash Mansarovar. There is Holy Land tours for the Christian community, and, to go to Israel and do the Holy Land tours with visit to Egypt as well. So there is Hajj and there's Umrah tours that happen from India to Saudi Arabia to Mecca, Medina. So there are different kind of religious tours that one could get involved. That is also tourism. There is adventure tourism, which is such a fascinating vertical within the industry. You could create adventure holidays for your customers, and if adventure is your passion, you could take that as a passion and make that as a business. Hiking trips to the Himalayas, Everest base camp trips, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro like what I did, bicycle tours, skiing holidays. There's such great, wonderful opportunities existing in the world. Scuba diving is becoming so very popular with the youngsters now. So, you could, if that is your passion, create that and create a business out of that and move on. So that's also part of tourism. So that's adventure tourism is there. Then we have MICE. MICE is not as the mouse that we have known, but MICE stands for meetings, incentives, conference, and events. Now that is also very, very, very big industry. Now that is directly targeting your corporates, your big companies. They want to do a product launch. They want to give an incentive to their dealer network for achieving a target that you give a target as a company, you give a target to your dealer network. For 6 months, you achieve a target of X amount of turnover. We will send you on a tour to, say, Japan. So that kind of activity happens there in the MICE. Events and conferences, conferences. People travel for conference. You organize conference for an association. You organize conference for a particular business community. So those kind of thing is also a very big thing in the tourism, and that is also part of travel and tourism. Another thing that is very popular in India, getting very popular, is film tourism. As you know, Bollywood films is the largest film producing industry in the world. It's much more than even what Hollywood is making or producing films in a year. So Bollywood alone stands to more than 3,000 films in a year, and that is a huge, huge industry. How you can correlate that with tourism is you can become a location guru or a location finder. If that films is your passion, you could become a location finder and start approaching production houses and tell them that, okay, you want to come to, like Hilaro, the Gujarati film that got a national award. It was shot in Bhuj, and they had such beautiful, if everybody's seen the movie, you'll know, such great sites of Bhuj were showcased in that movie. Now, how did the production house know that there is a possibility you can shoot here? That is the role of a location finder, and that's a very, very specialized, very niche kind of role that you play. But that is also tourism, that's also becoming a big part of tourism. And Bollywood film, wherever it is shot in the world, you will be surprised. We today also get clients in our office coming and saying, we saw this Hindi film, this song was picturized that they don't know the location, but they say wherever it was shot, we want to go there. Now that's a kind of impact Bollywood has got on tourism. So you could play a role by film tourism as well. Another thing that is part of the tourism is a big fat Indian wedding. Indian weddings are very, 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 very popular, and it's the whole world is now wanting to get a slice of this big cake of Indian wedding. Because the Indian weddings are almost about 250 to 400, 500 people is what the size of the number of people. It's for 3 to 4 days in a foreign location. There's so many events that happen. There's so much of food and beverage that's consumed. So it is a very big money spending industry. But for an hotel point of view, it's a very big business because that will be a fabulous business for them to do. But again, here, you could be an event planner. You could be a wedding planner. You could be an event coordinator for these big fat weddings, So that is also part of tourism, because tourism is related to anything where people are traveling from point A to point B for recreation or for their pleasure or work. So just to give you a brief idea about, all these are some of the new nuances in the tourism which you can identify out of these which is your passion, work on it, and then move on in your career to create a life out of that particular passion. Another thing that is now coming up very soon and that is getting very popular, I mean, is the wellness tourism. And what better country than India, who is the birth of where yoga has given, India has given birth to yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, and nature-based healing and redefining your mental health and physical health. And in the last 1 year, more than the physical health, people have understood the importance of mental health, and people are working towards balancing their mental health to make sure that in spite of all this depression that is around you, it is not putting you into a depression and you are still maintaining a positive frame of mind. So you could become a healer of that nature. You could be an energy healer. There are experts who uh, realign your chakras of your body to make sure that your energy flow is intact, and that's tourism. And there is a huge demand for such experts, not only in India but internationally as well. So wellness tourism, where you have yoga retreats, meditation clinics, etc., etc., that's also becoming very, very, very popular. So as I told you, these are some of the very brief points that I've touched upon, which is talking about what is the opportunity that's existing in this industry and how you can then branch out and blossom into the area of your choice. But remember one thing: everything requires complete study. There is no compromise on that. Even today, believe you me, I do not miss out on an opportunity of meeting somebody or talking to somebody. It might not be from my industry. It could be any industry. The only reason I do that is because it gives me an opportunity to learn something new, which can be of use to me or to my family or to my company and my team. So I never miss out on an opportunity of learning or upping my skill sets. Reading a book. I don't know. I may be wrong, but what I'm given to understand, thanks to this mobile technology, the youngsters are going away from reading a book. But I will urge sincerely to all of you to please devote some time of your day life to read a book. It could be any book. It could be fiction, it could be non-fiction, it could be motivational, it could be pure simple entertainment, whatever it is. But do not miss out on reading a book. And currently I'm reading a book. If I can share the name, it's Atomic Habits. I will, if everybody can get a copy of it online or wherever, try and read that book. It will start changing your approach to how you want to live your life. It's a brilliant book, and I definitely insist you all should try and read that book. It's called Atomic Habits. But coming back, so remember, all the opportunities are there, the possibilities are there, everything is there. But for that to happen, you will require some skills. Man management skills is very, very critical. So that's very important. Technology is important. It's technology driven, so you will require technology also to support you and back you up. Basic communication of English is a language of communication in the travel industry, so you will need a decent communication skills in English. Foreign language is welcome, but that's not mandatory to start your own career or business. Man management skills are very critical. And remember, always in this industry, you have to, it's a people industry. Tourism is about people. You're dealing with people, right? So you have to be aware of, if you're sending a person anywhere in the world, also you remember you have to be, as I told you, update with your general knowledge on a daily basis. The geopolitical situation of the world changes very drastically. What's happening in Myanmar currently, it's a beautiful destination for tourism, but if you're not aware what's happening, if you send a passenger, he will be stuck. Okay, so you have to be aware of. So this is where your knowledge updation is very critical. You have to be aware of the general knowledge of the world, what's happening politically, socially, weather-wise. Environmentally, is there any impact? And then according to that, you have to guide your client that whether he or she can go to that country or cannot go to that country at this moment. So simple things like this you have to keep in mind. And always remember, in tourism industry, or generally in life also, not only tourism industry, this is one saying that I like it a lot. And it goes like this. Remember, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I'll repeat it once again. Remember, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. And in tourism industry, how much you care about your customer is very, very critical. You have to put yourself in his shoes, in her shoes, and then think that if I have to go on a holiday, will I accept this? Will I want this? Will I be ready to do something like this? And accordingly, as an advisor, my role will be to then start thinking, wearing the hat of the client, and then put it into practice so that it becomes a win-win for everybody. So these are some of the things that I said, which are very critical. Next slide, Chintan sir. In this industry, these are some of the nuggets which I'll touch upon. But before that, I will like to talk to you about, in our company, when we, every company, every human being is separate. Every human being is an individual of his or her own strength and merit. Okay, we cannot evaluate everybody on the same scale. But generally, it's defined that in there are 4 type of workers that are there in any company. The first type is called a superstar. They are the workers where the moment you give them a work, they complete it without any supervision, without any prodding, without any nudging, without any follow-ups or anything. You've given them the job, for sure 100%. Before you ask, the work will be done. So that's the first type of a worker. They are called the superstars. Now, the second type is a doer, D-O-E-R. So these are the types where you tell them, they will do it. And if you don't tell them on their own, they will not do it. All right. So he will do the work very nicely, very properly, but only if you tell him or her the work, they will do it. Otherwise, they will not do it. So that's a second type of a work. The third type of a worker in an organization that you can get is a talker. Now, this type of worker will only do so much of work so as not to be fired from the company. Okay. They will keep balancing it in a manner that they'll only contribute to the extent where the company does not have a reason to fire this type of a worker. Now, that's a third type of a worker, that is a talker. And the last type of a worker is a troublemaker. Okay. Do I have to describe this troublemaker? I don't think so. Because all they do is only create trouble, and they should be fired immediately. All right. So when you get an opportunity to get into an organization to start working, try to always remember to be in the first 2 type of the workers, the superstars or the doer. A doer is a person where you tell them they will do it, and if you don't tell them, they will not do it. The doer can be converted into a superstar, okay? But a talker will not be able to be converted into a superstar. So try and be either the superstar of the organization or a doer of the organization, and try to evaluate and progress from a doer to a superstar. Now, we are coming to the towards the end of the session. Some nuggets that will be of help in your life, and which we also use as a practice and follow up. For example, in our company, before we take any client's business or we say yes to a client, we evaluate it from different angles. So, for example, the question that we ask is, what I'm going to tell this passenger, is it the truth? Is it beneficial to both the parties concerned? It should not be that what I'm offering to my client is only going to benefit me and not to the client. Okay. So is it beneficial to all? Is it going to foster goodwill and friendship? Okay. Doing business is very simple. You can do business. Earning money is very simple. Okay. There is no big deal about it. But there is always a right way of doing certain things, and there's a wrong way of doing certain things. And we believe the right way of doing the thing is what we all should aim to follow. The path of doing that will be very difficult, or will be with a lot of roadblocks. But the happiness that you achieve when you follow that path is immense. So that's the third point. And the fourth point is, will it build last longing relationship, So we tackle a situation before we say to a customer yes by evaluating on these 4 points. And when we are agreeing on these 4 points is when we say yes to taking a customer's booking, because as I said, for us, the ethos is it's not that कस्टमर आया उसका बस कैसे भी करो बुकिंग करो और खत्म करो that is not the idea, that is not the intention. The idea and intention is to build a relationship where he becomes a customer for our life, and he becomes a friend and a mentor to us as well for our life. So that's how we tackle it. And for that, as I said, your ethics of doing business, your integrity in doing business, and your commitment of doing business is very critical to make sure that this happens. Now, if you have to say certain nuggets of your life, as I told you, remember, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, this you can apply in all your relationship of your life, whether it's your family, your social, your friends, your business, your colleagues, co-workers, whatever. The second thing is, in life, is direction important or speed? Unfortunately, we are in this virtual webinar. We are not able to interact. But if it was a live physical thing, I would have asked you this question, and it would have been a very interesting reaction. I would have loved to see from the audience. Remember one thing, speed is very important. Today, everybody wants to become a multimillionaire overnight. Even I would love to become a multimillionaire overnight. Who doesn't like to be? But always remember, speed without direction is of no relevance. If, for example, you're driving a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler and you want to drive fast, you go at a speed, but you don't know which direction you have to go. You might go bang into a wall and make an accident, all right? And that can jeopardize your life and career. So speed without a direction is no relevance. So we have to aim for direction in our life and not speed. Remember that. Also, urgent versus important. Now, how are you going to identify this is, differentiate between what is urgent in life and what is important in life. When you start ignoring what is important, it will become urgent in your life. It's as simple as that. I hope I'm very clear. Urgent versus important, and it's a very important nugget of life that we put it into practice. Not only in the business, but even in a social life, in your family life, everywhere. Like they say, when there is a challenge, when there's a problem, kill the monster when it's in the infancy stage, when it's still just in the nip it in the bud. Moment you allow it to grow, then it becomes unmanageable, and that's when the problem comes. And that could be the same in your career, in your business. If you have a client problem, solve it at the first stage. Do not wait for the 10th stage, because by 10th stage, it would have multiplied to an extent where it becomes unmanageable. All right. Problem is a sign of life. Now, can anybody tell us that none of our lives are impacted with problems? All of us have problems. Mukesh Ambani has problems. Donald Trump had problems. All of us have problems in our life. All of us have challenges in our life, But that is, a sign of life. Why should we should not aim to solve all our problems, but we should surely learn how to handle them. And that is going to be very critical in your life. When you start your career, your business of your own, how you handle a problem is important. You're not going to be able to stop a problem coming your way. Problems will come your way, but how you handle them is what is going to define you. All right. Similarly, let this crisis, any crisis, I'm not talking of this crisis particularly, but any crisis that come in your life, let it not define you. Which, when I say not define you, means let it not impact you so much that you surrender in front of it. But let that crisis refine you, means you learn from that and get on with it. Okay. Then this is a very interesting thing. Who is in your room? Now, what I mean by this is, there's a very interesting analogy like this. Who you allow in your life is what you will become in your life. Right? So when I say who you allow in your life or who you allow in your room, you are put in a room with, say, 20 people. Now, out of 20 people, all 20 are either failures or 20 are either incompetent. What will you become? You will become the sum of the 20 people. All right. So very important. Remember, In life, who you allow in your room is what you will become. Okay. And goals should be smart, which is very important. As I said, it should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. It's a very simple thing, and I'm sure I don't need to elaborate on that. All of you will know that. Next slide, Chintan sir. One important thing is always remember, goal should be one that scares you a bit and excites you a lot. Do not have a very fancy goal. Do not put so much of extra pressure on you saying that I want to do this, I want to achieve this. No. But have a goal which will scare you a bit, which you might feel, oh, this might not be achievable for me, or etc. But at the same time, it will excite you so much that you want to make sure that you achieve that goal in your life. Next slide, please. In our business, in the travel industry, in the service industry, let me put it like this, specifically, always remember, promise a rose to a client and deliver a bouquet. Okay? That means whatever you do, always deliver more than what you have promised. And that is what is the biggest success story for building a lasting relation with your customer in terms of a customer relationship. Promise a rose and deliver a bouquet is a very important thing that you can apply in all your aspects of life. In your relationships also you can apply this. Never over-promise and under-deliver. Always under-promise and over-deliver is what this whole concept is about. Next slide, please. And this is also very, very important, a very nice saying and nugget of life. As I said, tourism is a people industry, and you're dealing with people. All of us like to be pampered. All of our egos like to be pampered. Can we have the slide, please? All of our egos need to be pampered and things like that. So in our industry also, what is important is nobody remembers what you said. Okay? In your situations of life, nobody remembers what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So try to keep this principle in mind when you're doing it, when you're acting on it, in your work or in your business. Nobody remembers what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Okay, so these are some of the nuggets of life that we also try and practice it in our business and on our relations on a day-to-day basis and move on in life. I'm almost at the fag end of my presentation. I would like to give one example of you all need to aim to be leaders of your life in whatever field of work that you get in. It could be work, you become a leader in your organization. It could be a business, you become a leader. And one of the best examples of leadership qualities that we could assess or can have an example, I'm sure everybody is aware of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and what he has contributed and how he has achieved what he has achieved for the Indian cricket. But some of the things that I have evaluated from his pattern, and I was involved in cricket in Ahmedabad and I had great opportunities of interacting with cricketers. So I can share some little bit of it, is wherever you are in your life, aim and work to become the best in the business or whatever field of work you do, like what Mahendra Singh Dhoni did. He ensured that he is the best finisher in the game of cricket, period. There was no comparison. So in your work, in your business, try to aim to become the best. Remember, we don't have to become perfect. We have to become the best. We have to work towards excellence. Become the best in the business of whatever field of work you do. Have the courage to face challenges and the art to manage them or handle them gracefully with a smile and a calm, cool mind. That's why he was called the Captain Cool. Come what may, whatever the crisis, last over, 6 balls, 18 runs required, you never saw him disturbed. You never saw him agitated. And remember, if you are a leader, if you are agitated, the negative energy will go down into your team and the team will start getting agitated. The team will panic. And when you panic, you don't take a right decision. Okay? So always have the courage to face challenges and manage them gracefully with a smile and a calm, cool mind. And this comes with confidence in your own ability to manage and complete things. Be a very good finisher in whatever work you do. We spoke of the type of workers, and the first type of worker, we need to be that kind of a worker who finishes any task given to him or her, and with 110% of output and result. So that's very important. That was his style, and he's one of the best finishers in the game of cricket, which all of us know. Who will forget? We just had the anniversary of the World Cup final in Mumbai 2011 under his leadership, which India won the World Cup again after 1983, and Gautam Gambhir scored 93 runs, 97 if I'm right, as an opener. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the last over, we required some challenging runs, and finishing off the game with a six to win the World Cup. That requires a lot of nerve, a lot of confidence, a lot of skill set in your confidence in your skills. And we won the World Cup. So he was a very good finisher. And the most important thing, that was the last World Cup match for Sachin Tendulkar. And after the victory, Sachin Tendulkar was lifted on the shoulders of Yuvraj Singh Harbhajan and paraded around the stadium Wankhede and given him a send-off as a respect. But as a true leader, he achieved what he had to achieve. He gave victory to the team. He gave victory to the country. But when the time of moment came to take the accolade or the praise, he was at the back end. He allowed his team members to be in the front to share the glory and be in the spotlight. And that's a true character of a leader. He will always want his team to be in the front, and the team should get the spotlight and the spotlight on them, and they should get the praise for doing what they have done. So, and most important, always stay grounded, humble, with head high in the air and feet firm on the ground. Believe you me, ultimately for all of us, the journey, we need to become very good human beings. Whatever we achieve in our life, whatever we achieve in our career is all secondary. First and foremost, we need to become very good human beings. And the last thing which I would like to end today is by saying travel industry is one of the industries, if you decide to take it up as a job, as a career, as a profession, as a business, it is one of the few industries where you get blessings from your customers for creating or converting their dream into a reality. You become the trigger to convert their dream of a good holiday with their loved ones into a reality, and they bless you, and rightly said by Mr. Shiv Khera, the management guru, in life it is important to count your blessings and not your bank balances always. With this, I would like to end my brief interaction with you, friends. These are my contact details. But as I said, I'm a phone call away, email away. Anytime you all need to reach out to me for anything that you want to check with me about the industry, about general things in life, I'm a phone call away. And thank you once again, Dr. Bijal Zaveri, Dr. Sapna Chintanrai, for this wonderful opportunity. And I hope I have been able to correlate to the students that are listening to this, and I've been able to give some little inputs from my experiences of life and help them with their thought process. So once again, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. If there is time for question answers, I'm here. If not, I can take it up offline as well, as the convenience be. Thank you. And wishing everybody a
yes. Thank you so much, Sergey. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time and your experience. You have mentioned the scope and opportunities in the tourism industry, and definitely it will very helpful to our students. So thank you so much for your all the full of information, and that's a very good interaction. So I would like to ask our student, do you have any question for the day?
Yes, sir.
Yes, if you have any question, then definitely you can ask. Yes, Manishankar.
Yeah, good morning, Chintan sir. Good morning, Manish. Sir, as per the current situation, is there any scope for the student, those who are passed out or looking their career in the tourism industry?
Yeah. So, sorry, you are asking, is there scope in the present situation? If I'm correct.
Sir.
Okay. Mr. Manisha, yes, my friend, see, as I told you, this crisis has come not to impact us, but to refine us. And we all are taking this very positively. It has come and it has given us an opportunity to understand what wrong we have been doing in our lives or what right we have not been doing in our lives. All businesses are impacted, all industries are impacted. As I said, tourism is one of those unfortunate industry which is impacted the most directly because the borders are closed of the world. A lot of restrictions are there, flights are not operating, but that does not mean the industry is dead. We are so resilient and strong. This industry, as I told you, tourism is never going to stop. People will travel, people want to travel, people will never stop traveling. It's a matter of time where the industry will bounce back and in a much bigger and much stronger way in the next coming 6 months. And that is what I will say. So if you're planning to join this industry, do not give out of your hopes. It is a wonderful industry and the opportunities will be humongous in the coming 6 months.
Thank you, sir. And one more question, sir.
Yeah.
As you know that it is the worst affected industry. So, sir, according to this situation, it is safe to open our own travel company. And sir, if we open that, and then sir, how we target the customers?
So exactly. So you have to understand. I'll break the answer in two separate points. If you want to open a business at this moment, I will suggest you wait for 4 to 5 months more because there are a lot of things which are constantly changing. The rules are changing, the regulations are changing, a lot of restrictions are getting uplifted, again being imposed, So constantly there's a change. Now, to start something in such a situation without experience will add too much of pressure on you. So I will suggest wait for a couple of months to see how the situation is shaping out. Number one. The second part of the question is how to get customer. Now, there is no magic formula to tell you how to get your customer. The first and foremost thing is when you are you have to build a relation of trust, and you have to have a product which you are wanting to showcase to your customer. In this case, if it's a service that you want to do, you will have to start with your friends and family to start with, and from there you start building up. As I told you, for us in our industry, trust is extremely very important. The trust is broken, your client is gone permanently. Okay, so that will come at a later stage when you start getting more clients. But to start with, what we did, we started with our friends and family and approached them to help us with their business, and then build up from their contact spheres, ask them to recommend our service if they're happy with it to their friends, and start building up. So it's an invert pyramid, where you are at the bottom tip of the pyramid is upside down, and you have to start building up your client base like that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance.
Yes. Any other question?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. First of all. Sir, my question is that in this presentation you talked about food blogging in particular.
Yeah.
So when we talk about food blogging, I personally consider it as a good opportunity in writing blogging.
Correct.
So can you suggest a good platform to start with for written food blogs other than LinkedIn and Instagram?
So no, Instagram still today is ruling the roost as far as, because food blogging is a visual thing. Okay. Of course, you will be writing as to what it is, but there'll be a picture. And Instagram still is ruling it as far as the visual impact is concerned. Okay. But if you're only going to be creating a content as a writing thing, then there are different, you could have your own podcast, the audio podcasts that are becoming very popular. You could have a profile on Linktree, not LinkedIn, Linktree, where, you could create articles and, share it to the community of the world. But for a food blogger, Instagram will still be the most, the right source of channel to communicate.
Okay, sir. Because when I have seen blogs on Instagram does restrict it to around 100 words or 120 words.
Correct.
And generally, blogs that I read are around 250 to 280 character words.
Correct.
So that's why I feel written content is very low on Instagram. That's why I don't consider it.
Exactly. But so you will have to cultivate that skill of creating a written content, or take help of a professional that in 150 words, how are you going to communicate only the right amount of communication where the reader will be interested and excited to call you or send you a personal message and get more details.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Uda.
Yes. Any question? Okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Good morning,
Vinita.
sir. Sir, my question is, as due
Yes,
to
good
COVID
morning.
situation, how you are dealing to these challenges?
Hi, Vinita. How are you dealing with this challenge?
Sir, we are having online classes.
Are you happy or you're not happy? Okay, I want to
Uh,
ask this question because okay, no. So on a serious note, as I said, challenges come on our head. We didn't know last year. We didn't know how long it is going to be impacting us, in what way it is going to be impacting us socially, economically, and medically. Okay, none of us knew for that matter. But over a period of year, we've realized what this COVID thing is and how it has impacted, what it is impacting, and how we have to manage it. And by God's grace, by some of the other means, we have the most important thing was to make sure that you spend more time with your loved ones and with your team, with giving them confidence, staying healthy, staying positive, and thinking of good positive thoughts and not getting negative thoughts, because the moment you get negative thoughts, believe you me, you will go to such a low that it will be very difficult to rise up from there, to battle this situation. So come what may, we have this problem, fair enough, but think positive, stay strong, use meditation, use yoga, eat simple, good, healthy food, spend more time with your loved ones, chat up with them, talk to them, and this is the way you will have to come out of this. And this is what we've done to come out of this.
yes, thank you, sir. But at the business perspective, this is affecting, like the scope is also narrow.
Yes, I know. See, every year, every time you will not get opportunities where you only make money. Sometimes the money making will stop or it will reduce. But it doesn't mean it's the end of the life. We are still able to have a roof over our head and we're still able to eat 3 meals a day. So we should be thankful to God for that. Live a life of gratitude for sure. But at the same time, as I said, right now it's impacted. But again, when the business restarts in full swing, it will be an opportunity to earn that money back, which you have not earned this year. So every time in life, it will not be that you will have everything to your advantage and to your convenience. There will be challenges of a life. We have to face it. We have to accept it. But we have to have alternate plans ready of survival. And that is going to be a very critical thing for all of you to realize, that whatever your source of income that you have at this stage in life or in the future, always have one more alternate source of income handy that can sustain you for any such downfall.
Yes, sir, agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
सर मेरे को भी एक क्वेश्चन है.
Okay,
Can I go
so
ahead?
because of limitations, yes, sir. Yes, Avnish. The last question, yes, you can ask.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. सर मेरा जो क्वेश्चन है ये के पर्सपेक्टिव से है. आपको बहुत सारे ऐसे क्लाइंट्स मिलते होंगे जो आपसे कभी कभी पूछते होंगे कि जब आप मार्केट देर इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स लाइक makeMyTrip.com, थॉमस कुक, तो मैं आपके साथ क्यों ट्रैवल करूं? उन्हें क्या जवाब देते हैं?
Very, very nice question, Avnish. And see, client has got a right to have his perception. I, as an expert, I have a right to explain my point of view and justify why I am able to give a better price, or why he should travel with me, or why my service, or why my knowledge is better than what it is. But most important thing, remember one thing. Today, and more so now after this last year's pandemic challenges, and where clients have got stuck, where they've bought services from online portals, where they've bought services from these kind of platforms, and not through a travel agency, it is critical that the client requires a 24/7 backup service, And that is where the role of a travel advisor like us comes into picture, because we are accessible 24/7. He could be anywhere in the world. He has to dial a mobile number, and one of us will answer, whether it's at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever time of the day. Now, that is the biggest, most important comfort factor that the client will carry with him. And for that, he has to pay that extra 5% or whatever, if you are comparing purely on the price point of view. But the convenience point of view, having the advantage of a travel advisor with you, who is going to call you or receive your call 24/7 and pull you out of any emergency in the world, is going to be very critical. And that's why we convince them in this manner, that's why they need to book it through a travel advisor. But as I said, you have to be very clear on you're confident in your knowledge, you're confident in your service, and you're confident in your network, that you're confidently telling the customer that, look, I am telling you, I assure you that you go there, you will not have a problem, because I've seen that hotel, for example, or I've seen the destination, or my transport provider, I know you will get the best car or best vehicle. So these are important things that to convince a customer.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you.
Yes, so on behalf of Parallel University, we are thanking you once again. Thank you so much, Sarji, for providing your valuable time. Yes, and definitely it will be helpful in many ways, not only for tourism industry, but definitely being a good businessman, being a person, definitely your session will be helpful. So thank you so much, Ji.
Thank you.
We are ending this session here.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Parallel University once again. And students, wish you all a fantastic future. Learn to aim to be a good human being, period.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, students.
Thank you,
So
sir.
much, guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.